Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, June 12th, and welcome to the meeting of the Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School. I'd like to call the meeting to order with salute to the flag, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we get the meeting going, I'd like to deviate a little bit from the agenda because we have some retirees and I need to... I'm not going to do the...
Oh, you're going to do that first?
I could do the public comment, couldn't I, first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Issue.
We'll do that first. Is there anybody in the audience out here tonight who would like to come before the school committee with any comments on any subject they need to talk about? Hearing none? Thank you. I would like to deviate from the agenda tonight because we have some folks that are retiring, we have some special events, and so I need to be able to do that. So I'm looking for a motion to...
Mr. Chairman, move to suspend the rules.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any comment on suspending the rules? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I need a motion now, please, to change the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're changing the agenda because we're going to take some things out of order. Mr. DeRosa?
Mr. Chairman, if you would come up to the podium. We're honored to have some guests with us tonight. Three of our retirees that we're going to get to recognize. I'll have the opportunity to introduce. But I would also like to introduce, we have with us tonight Senator Kathleen O'Connor Ives from the 1st Essex District, along with Haley Klein, Chief of Staff. And we also have State Representative Lenny Mira, and they're here tonight to recognize our retirees with us. So if I could call you up to the podium. The first retiree that we would like to recognize is Nancy Carey. Nancy was hired as an English instructor in 1991. During Nancy's tenure at Whittier Tech, she also served as cluster chair and curriculum coordinator. Nancy will be retiring on June 30 after serving the district for 22 years. And if I can, to read the citation from the school committee. In honor of your service, Nancy Carey retired with distinction from Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School in gratitude for your service to the district, awarded June 2013.
And I would like to present this citation to Nancy. I will read it. It's a State Senate citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Nancy Carey in recognition of your 22 years of hard work and dedicated service to teaching at the Whittier Regional Technical High School, and be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success. That this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate.
Good evening. My name is Lenny Mira, and I've got a similar citation from the House. Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Nancy Carey in recognition of your 22 years of dedicated classroom teaching at Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Thank you, Nancy.
Next, I would like to recognize Bonnie Davidson. Bonnie, if you would come up. Bonnie began her career at Whittier Tech in 1997 as a substitute. She then became a full-time instructor in 1999. Bonnie has been a science teacher and will retire on June 30, 2013, after serving the district for 14 years. And if I can, I would like to read the citation from the school committee. In honor of your service, Bonnie Davidson retired with distinction from Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School in gratitude to your service to the district, awarded June 2013. Congratulations.
I'm wanting to turn in this direction. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Bonnie Davidson in recognition of your 14 years of hard work and dedicated service to teaching at the Whittier Regional Technical High School. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. Congratulations.
And also be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Bonnie Davidson in recognition of your 14 years of dedicated classroom teaching. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Thank you, Bonnie.
Next, I would like to recognize Frank Janowitz. Frank, if you would come up. Frank was hired in 1974 as a special education instructor. Prior to that year, Frank was here as an intern at Whittier Tech the year that it opened. Frank went from a special education instructor to a guidance counselor, then to director of guidance. He will be retiring on June 30, 2013, after serving the district for 39 years. And if I could read the citation, in honor of your service, Frank Janowitz, retired with distinction from Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School, in gratitude for your service to the district, awarded June 2013. Wow. Congratulations.
State Senate official citation. Be it known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Frank Janowitz in recognition of your 39 years of hard work and dedicated service to teaching at the Whittier Regional Technical High School. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends best wishes for continued success, that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate and attested to, and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. Congratulations.
Be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Frank Janowitz in recognition of your 39 years of dedicated classroom teaching at Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope of future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Thank you, Frank.
It's the end of an era.
Thank you very much, and I would like to thank the senator for being here tonight and also our state representative. We really appreciate them taking time out of their schedule to come and recognize our retirees. Thank you, and congratulations to the retirees.
Mr. Chairman. Very mean.
Mr. Tucker.
I move the approval of the minutes of the May 8th, 2013 minutes of the regular school committee meeting.
Second. I have a motion on the floor, and I have a second. Is there any discussion on the minutes of the school committee meeting on May 8th? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
The only one I have. Now, treasurer's report, Brett?
In your package tonight is the treasurer's report for May. Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the treasury report for the month of May. I'm looking for a second. I have a second. Any further comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I got a comment.
Charlie, you have a comment? Let's back it up on this. Go ahead, Charlie.
On the second page,
Of the treasurer's report.
on the culinary arts,
Yep.
we're running a $28,000 deficit.
There are credits that have to go against that, haven't gone against that yet for the end of the year reconciliation, outstanding bills and things like that to go against it.
It's a normal bookkeeping measure that we do. Thanks for picking that out, though, Charlie.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Tucker.
I move that the district treasurer be authorized under the provisions of Section 6G of Chapter 156 of the Acts of 1967 and Chapter 134 of the Acts of 1972, and with the approval of the chairman of the district committee to borrow money from time to time in anticipation of revenue for the 12-month period beginning July 1st, 2013, and to issue a note of notes therefore payable within the fiscal year 2014.
Second.
I hear that motion, and I heard a second from Brett, and that is to borrow money if we have a shortfall, or if we're waiting for money, anticipating money to come in, and so we do short-term borrowing, a normal thing. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Clarification?
Yes,
Does that
please.
come back before us, the amount, so if there's a shortfall, the amount that the superintendent needs to,
Let me have the
Treasurer needs-
business manager come up and talk about that.
does that come back before us? The amount, so this is just saying, go borrow,
These are anticipatory notes, is that correct?
We call them RANs, Revenue Anticipation
Yep.
Notes. So all that you're doing is if you think that you're trying to bridge a shortfall, particularly at the end of a year, if you anticipate that the state's payment is going to not be in time to take care of the final payrolls and the
but
accounts
so
payable.
basically it's almost like factoring, where you're receiving, you're just getting us an advance beforehand. Is that what you're saying, to balance out?
Right.
Right. And all that we're doing is, to speak to that, is to, say we needed $500,000 for approximately 10 days. We would borrow the money over 10 days.
But the 500, I guess, the 500,000 though is there, it's just not, we haven't
That's correct.
physically received it.
This is not a
So it's almost like
shortfall in your,
factoring is
this
what I'm
this
saying.
is not a shortfall in your budget, this is a cash flow issue.
Cash flow, that's all I need to know.
We
Yeah,
don't
thank you.
borrow
I-
outside the
I-
budget.
Yeah, well, that's,
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to get some old business off the books here. And
Nancy.
Mr. Irving, you want to take care of this old business school committee self-evaluation?
All right, I guess we want to take off the table. In your tonight's packet, you have, I believe, the evaluation that we did.
Yeah,
Should be in your packet that you received tonight.
right here.
And so you can look at individual ones for any discussion you have afterwards. But I just basically want to go over a couple of points. Under governance, obviously, we know what that is. We're here as a government body to look at educational goals and objectives, adopting policies that enables the administrative team to work. We adopt a budget and work with the administration on working on that, and we review the evaluation system, school system as it goes along. And as a group, we voted basically all ones and twos. We strongly agreed with the statements being made, which basically was pretty good, I think. The next area, and you can look at the individual ones as I go along. Next one is operations. Basically, aside from certain Massachusetts general laws and Robert rules, the school committee generally develops its own way of doing things. And the more that we discuss and up front, and the more we decide on how we're going to do the process is going to be made, the decision-making can go along more smoothly. Here again, school committee members chose to pick mostly strongly agree and also agree. And again, it's like, about 75 to 25% on that. The third one is member relations. Group dynamics and teamwork are extremely important and part of the school committee success. And in this one here, we have to act as a vote individually, but collectively as a group, as a school committee board. And that's very, very important that we have our own individual view and vote, but once the decision's been made, we have to follow that as a team. And here, we had mainly strongly agree, with one member saying we don't do enough homework and being prepared. And I guess the fact that not all of us turned in these evaluations, I guess he or she was right on target. So, other than that, they're all good. Committee superintendent relationship, this was a very positive area for most of us, and strongly agree predominated in this various section here. And of course, we know what that means, is working with, cooperation with the superintendent and so on. Next, strategic planning and fiscal management. The school committee is accountable to the communities for responsible management of the school system, finances, etc. Here, all strongly agreed, at least 75% or better for this one also. And for the last two, community relations, how do we get out into the community in a positive fashion? Again, on this one, we were basically strongly agreed. And conducting meetings, quality school committee meetings affect not only the quality of committee's decisions, but its credibility. And I think on this, we also were above, well above, around 83%, I believe, on that area. So Mr. Chairman, I would move to accept for the files this self-evaluation for 2013 at this time.
Second.
I have a second on that, and any further discussion on Mr.
Discussion or comment, I guess, would be
Comment,
good.
yeah. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Move on to Ms. Wright, our student rep. There you go.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Superintendent DeRosa, and all other school committee members. The varsity baseball team has had an outstanding season, undefeated in league play. They went on to compete and win the state vocational tournament by beating Blackstone Regional Technical High School. The team also is competing in the MIAA state tournament, recently beating St. Mary's of Lynn for the Division III North title. Today, the team is playing Middleborough High School in the state semifinals in Lynn, Mass. The varsity softball team played an excellent season with 18 wins and 7 losses. The girls qualified and played in the MIAA state tournament, beating Winthrop to advance to the North Finals. The team lost in the North Finals to St. Mary's of Lynn this past Sunday, bringing Whittier's best season ever to a close. The varsity track and field team had an amazing season. The boys team had 6 wins and 2 losses. They set 2 school records and finished 3rd in the CAC league meet. The girls' team had 6 wins and 3 losses, and they set 6 records and finished 5th in the CAC league meet. Our varsity lacrosse team was successful this season with 14 wins and 7 losses. They came together as a team and played well, beating Lynn Tech to win the CAC league championship. They continued on to the MIAA state tournament for the 2nd year in a row. P Club is winding down the school year by making plans for summer community service projects and activities. The Skills USA brought 137 students to the district competition and were awarded 41 medals. 52 students competed at the state level where there were 8 gold medalists. These students will continue on to the national competition in Kansas City. The National Technical Honor Society inducted 58 new members on May 23rd during the awards night ceremony. Drama Club performed a skit written by students in the club during the anti-bullying rally at Haverhill High School on May 17th. Also, students performed an a cappella performance at the rally singing Stand By Me. 3 seniors from the Drama Club sang the national anthem at the graduation ceremony on May 30th. Whittier's non-traditional club is in the process of planning a meeting for the fall to invite new students who have chosen non-traditional vocational areas. The Multicultural Club planted trees in Newburyport on Arbor Day, which was April 22nd. Also, they sold tree certificates for $10. Every certificate sold indicated 1 tree was planted. In total, they raised $300 and planted 30 trees. The GSA had a productive year and is planning for the upcoming school year. They are focusing on recruiting new members and planning activities per positive school climate. The Peer-to-Peer Club participated in the Haverhill Exchange anti-bullying rally that was held on May 17th. They also held an event called The Last Mile, which was a 1-mile walk to help those affected by the Boston Marathon bombings. Proceeds were donated to the One Fund. Boston. Also, Peer-to-Peer is participating in the Relay for Life at Northern Essex Community College, which will be held on June 13th and 14th. They have raised over $1,500. However, they hope to reach their goal of $5,000. The Whittier United Nations debate team was the only team from a vocational school at the Northeastern University competition that was held on May 17th and 18th. The team won 8 awards, including 2 gavels, which is first place. They are hoping to add Harvard University's competition to their schedule next year. Also, our student government had another successful year. Elections will be held at the end of the year for the upcoming sophomore and junior classes. The senior class has already selected their representatives. That's all I have.
Wonderful.
Pretty good.
A lot going on.
Very good.
Just a question, do we have a date on the Kansas City? Are they there now?
No.
Soon.
No, and I don't remember the date. I don't remember the date. We voted on it at the last meeting,
We already voted on
but
it.
I don't
No,
remember.
no, I
the
know
date.
that.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if they're, there before school ends, I assume.
Usually it's the 20-something.
Yeah, it's not a big deal, I just wondered if we...
June 24 to 29.
Good.
All right.
Excellent report.
Nice report.
Thank you.
Good job. Mr. DeRosa.
Mr. Chairman, I also would like to mention, to follow up with the report, the 2 trophies are beside Dr. Testaverde down there that we were awarded on Sunday. Both the girls' softball and boys' baseball trophies are there at the end if people would like to see them. For informational purposes in front of you, I have some personnel information, the hiring of a comptroller, also the hiring of grant-funded summer school MCAS program, the hiring of district-paid summer school program, the district-paid substitutes, and Title I English and Mathematics summer school program. Also, the hiring of the online academic summer school, the hiring of summer project discovery, the people that we employed on freshman orientation, the attendance makeup, and the mentor teacher training course. And lastly, we have a resignation of a comptroller. And that's it for informational update in terms of personnel. In terms of a budget update on my report, which I'm just trying to get to, so just give me 1 second here. The town of Ipswich passed our budget on May 14, 2013. I'd like to thank our chairman, Ray Morley, for representing us at that meeting. I attended the Salisbury Town meeting on May 20, and Salisbury passed our budget. I'd like to thank Elena Gilbert, our Salisbury representative, along with Maureen Lynch, our principal, and Kara Cosmos, our new business manager, for attending with me. Also, Mr. Lobello was there with us that night. The town of Newbury passed our budget on May 21, 2013. I'd like to thank Rich Ryan and Charlie Lobello for attending. On May 23, 2013, Mr. Lobello and I attended the Amesbury Municipal Council meeting and provided information on the budget. On May 29, 2013, I attended the Newburyport City Council meeting with Brett Murphy and our interim business manager, David Jack, along with Maureen Lynch, our principal. And the last meeting on our budget is this Thursday evening at 7 o'clock at the Haverhill City Council. In following up with the budget, Mr. Chairman, if you remember, we had a discussion about we built our budget on the figures from House 1. When the budget went to Ways and Means, the budget was reduced by $289,000. When it went to the Senate and came back out again, it was cut about $211,000. And if you remember, when we talked about that through the budget process, I explained that if we were cut in Chapter 70 funding, that we would be looking to take that money from our excess and deficiency. So in front of you this evening, I have a motion asking to compensate for the reduction in Chapter 70 school funding by transferring $210,852 from excess and deficiency.
So moved.
Seconded.
Favor? Oh, wait a minute, discussion.
Discussion real quick. Mr. Superintendent, that takes it down to approximately 500 E&D? After the, or no?
It's 789.
9 now?
It's at 789, so it'll take it down about 580-ish.
5, okay.
My concern is if this trend continues to next year and we have to go back and do this again, do we have a plan? What are we going to do?
Salaries and expenses go up. You need to hold the line, that's all. I'm sorry, did I say that?
We could always assess a higher assessment to the communities, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, I was waiting for a comment to come back.
Sell some land.
I just would like to know, for the record, if
We can
camera
assess a higher
ever
assessment
goes
to
to
the
the
communities.
superintendent. Oh.
Bill, you had a frozen look on your
Yes, the
face.
many.
We have a motion on the floor.
Yes, we do. Thank you, Charlie. We have
Thank you for the clarification.
Yes, thank you. We have a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Could I ask a question, Superintendent? The academic, online academic summer school, is that tutoring?
No, it's going to replace, we're no longer going to run a traditional summer school. We're going to have it done with an online program that we're paying for, so we're not paying teachers to teach 1 and 2 students. It wasn't economically feasible to continue to do it that way.
Because of numbers.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Question I have, Kara, when does the new controller start?
Comptroller starts July 9th.
So it should be at our next meeting.
That's our business manager, Kara Cosmos. She
I'm
starts July
sorry,
1.
Kara Cosby, yeah, July 1. And the new controller starts
July 9th.
Can I, separate issue, if I may, if my committee members will indulge me. The grant, the 2003 Grant 625 Summer MCAS program that you were talking about, typically personnel that we use, is it the same every year?
No, people post, apply for the position, and sometimes you don't even need to interview. Sometimes just enough people apply or not enough people apply. But this year, I'm not sure on what positions they were interviewing on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we need an MCAS update?
Sure. On an MCAS update, Mr. Chairman, on June 4th and 5th, 289 sophomores and 2 juniors took the bio MCAS exam. English results will be available on June 18, and math and biology should be available, these are anticipated dates naturally, on August 7th. And what I usually do, if it's not anywhere near a committee meeting that we get the results of the MCAS, I usually mail you people a letter explaining what the results were. But in the beginning, they're embargoed anyway for correction purposes, so it's never right away that you get that. In terms of my update, on Tuesday, May 14, I attended Kiwanis dinner at DeBorro's in Haverhill, along with Maureen Lynch, our principal. The Kiwanis honored outstanding students from Whittier Tech and Haverhill High School, and I would like to thank Kara Cosmos for the invitation. On Wednesday, May 15, I hosted Commissioner Mitchell Chester for breakfast and a tour of the school. The commissioner had breakfast with a group of Whittier Tech students from various programs to talk about their experience at Whittier. The commissioner was impressed with the things he heard from students and with the breakfast. After the breakfast, the commissioner went on a tour of the facility and visited most vocational technical areas and spent time talking to students. I would like to thank the commissioner for taking his time to visit Whittier Tech, and I also brought the newspaper article with me to pass around that talks about the commissioner's visit here at Whittier Tech, and we certainly appreciate the time because he went to both academic and vocational, technical, and support areas. He was through the cafeteria, nurse's office. It was an excellent visit. He was here for almost 3 hours. On Wednesday, May 15th, I attended the Merrimack Valley Superintendent's Association Academic Scholars Luncheon at Lindsay's in Dracut. We honored 2 students from Whittier Tech, Nathan Bernard and Deborah Karampatzis. And if you remember, I had them come to our May meeting. You met those 2 students in May. Even though it was pre the luncheon, we knew that those were the students that were being recognized. On Monday, May 20, I attended the Salisbury Town meeting where our budget was passed. On Tuesday, May 21, I attended a Key Club and Kiwanis luncheon here at Whittier Tech. The Kiwanis honored Tradesperson of the Year, Jason Swagger from HVAC, and Jonathan Kimball from Electrical, and new Key Club offices were also installed. On Tuesday, May 21, I attended the Newburytown meeting. On Thursday, May 23rd, I attended the Mass Association of School Superintendents meeting in Marlborough. The topics of discussion included district-determined measures and new educator evaluation process. Districts need to submit a list of their district-determined measures utilized in measuring student growth and progress in the upcoming year. May 23rd, the Amesbury Finance Committee. May 29, the Newburyport City Council. On Thursday, May 20, Whittier held its graduation. I would like to thank our guest speaker, Treasurer Steve Grossman, for his words to the class of 2013, and thank him for taking time out of his busy schedule to be a guest speaker. I would also like to recognize and thank Senator Katie O'Connor Ives and Mayor Donna Holliday of Newburyport for attending the graduation. On Monday, June 3rd, I attended the Amesbury School Committee meeting. I would like to thank the Amesbury School Committee for their annual invitation. Mr. LaBella and Mr. Lesage were in attendance with me. Mayor Keyser and other members of the Amesbury School Committee were very complimentary after the update on Whittier Tech. Today, I attended the Merrimack Valley Superintendents Association luncheon at the Lanham Club, and at that luncheon today, they talked about the upcoming initiatives for the upcoming school year from DESE. In terms of outside projects, Culinary made a cake for the annual retirement in Amesbury for their teaching staff. In Georgetown, the culinary arts students made a cake for the opening of the Georgetown Police Department Communications Center. In Groveland, we're still working on hinges for historical building. In Groveland, we're also finishing up some business cards. In Haverhill, the carpentry department is working on some improvements to the John Greenleaf Visitor Center. And also in graphics, the students are completing a printing job for the printing department. And lastly, for Ipswich, carpentry students built 40 sawhorses for the organizers of the Winthrop School as they're building a new outdoor playground. And that's it for my update, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Miss,
Next,
next.
if I can, Mr. Chairman, I have some letter with me that was in your packet, which was sent to us from NEASC. I am proud to say
sorry, yes, and yes, okay.
that NEASC has approved our accreditation. The visiting team was here from October 15 to 17, and they voted to accredit the school. And in this, I also have the commendations and the recommendations that they talked about. And we were very pleased, obviously, to have this kind of a report come our way.
Can you tell the people what NES is?
New England Association of Secondary Schools and Colleges, they provide accreditation of your institution.
Charlie?
Excuse me. I noticed that they said that was 71.35% of their recommendations marked as complete or in progress,
Right.
or 127 of 178. Are the ones that weren't marked complete or in progress, are they scheduled to start, or we're not going to do them? or-
Some of them are no action. Some of them are no action that we're not going to be doing. Others of them are in progress, yes.
So it's not that they failed.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Next, Mr. Chairman, I have some scholarships to bring forward to the committee for acceptance. As you know, according to your policy, I have to bring scholarships forward. The Provident Bank donated a $1,000 scholarship to benefit a student that resides in the market area of the bank and is a member of a low to moderate income family. The student should be attending a 2- or 4-year school. I would like to thank Beverly Ledoux, with whom I communicated at Provident Bank, for this generous scholarship.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in, yes, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Charlie, you had a comment?
Yeah, this is a general comment. This is a one-time scholarship? or
I've asked
recurring?
them every year for the past 3 years, so this is the 3rd year they've done it.
Oh, but we have to ask them every year, not that they
We have to
set up-
apply for it every year.
Oh, okay, you have to apply.
Makes sense.
Next, Eastern Bank donated 2 $1,000 scholarships to benefit Whittier Regional Vocational Technical High School students. I would like to thank Laura Kurtzak, Executive Director of the bank, with whom I communicated with Eastern Bank for their generous scholarships.
Move to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The Haverhill Bank donated 2 $1,000 scholarships for graduating students. I would like to thank Thomas Mortimer, President of the bank, with whom I communicated for these generous scholarships.
For a motion, please?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is that it, Mr. DeRosa?
Okay, next is an acceptance of a donation. Again, according to your policy manual, the school committee accepts all donations. I just have a little bit of background. I'd like to bring the committee up to date on this. We had recent meetings, myself and a few of the regional tech school superintendents had meetings with the now former lieutenant governor and the state treasurer, Stephen Grossman, about the cost of equipment and how difficult it is to purchase equipment. They established a $1 million competitive grant this year for technical schools to apply for, but it had to be matching. Kelly Fay, our coordinator of curriculum and professional development, along with Beverly DeSalvo, who is our vocational technical coordinator, and Andy Pigeon, who's an assistant principal, who also works with night school, got together, wrote a grant to, for $45,000 for a piece of equipment to be used in machine technology, because that's an area we're looking at in growth. And Little Enterprise of Ipswich is donating a CNC vertical machine center to the machine shop. The machine's value is $20,000. In addition, they're paying $5,300 for the rigging necessary to deliver the machine. So the total value of their donation is $25,300. I respectfully request the school committee's approval for the acceptance of this donation, and would also like to extend a sincere thanks to Little Enterprise, as they provided the basis for our awarding of a competitive matching grant.
So moved.
Second?
Any comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Next, Mr. Chairman, in your packet tonight, I made a request for a recommendation for an instructional technology data specialist. Part of this funding would come out of Race to the Top. The rest would come out of school choice. The reason why we're requesting this is because we are moving toward first of all, we're moving toward a one-on-one model with iPads. We'll be phasing them in with first freshmen, then freshman and sophomore classes, and we would need the support. But secondly, The Department of Elementary and Secondary Education has greatly increased their reporting requirements. On every teacher, they want student schedules matched up with teacher schedules, they want teacher attendance, they want teacher salary, they want the impact on student learning reported on every teacher. And in order for us to meet with that mandate, we don't have the personnel necessary to do that because technology is a two-person area. So for those two reasons, I'm respectfully requesting from the school committee that we establish this position for the upcoming school year effective July 1.
I'd like to make that motion.
Discussion.
I'd like a second on that first. I have a
Second.
second. Go ahead, Sean.
From a budget perspective, I don't know, is this position in the budget that we voted on?
No, as I
So-
explained, part of it would be coming from Race to the Top, $30,000. The balance of $20,000 would be coming from school choice.
What happens, we talk about school choice, those numbers have been diminished, right?
Correct, that's correct.
So if we run into where, in the future, I mean, with this money, would we have a problem in the future funding this position?
I don't believe that we would.
Even though school choice numbers are decreasing and revenue is down? Because that's where you're saying part of the money's coming from?
Right, and my hope, my intent, Mr. Tui, would be that this would become part of the district budget.
And do you anticipate when that would be?
No. Not next year, I know that.
Obviously. Okay, all right, thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Mr. DeRosa?
Next, Mr. Chairman, if finances permit, as you know, in the initial proposal of the budget, we had an information technology, wrong one, I apologize. I got to flip a page. We had a machine technology teacher that I had to take out of the budget in order for us to reach the 3.5% budget increase that went out to the communities. My hope is, if enough students enroll under the school choice program, my hope is that there would be enough money in the school choice revolving account for me to hire a second teacher for machine technology and see what happens with that position for a year, see if enrollment in that area grows, because as you know, it is an area of growth. Those students are employed right away. I obviously would not do this without enough money in school choice, which means the people that actually arrive in the door in the beginning of school, but we would not be meeting before that date, which is why I'm asking if we could establish the position pending contingent upon funding from school choice, if it exists.
So moved.
Comments?
Just same discussion, again. My only fear is that the numbers, I mean, obviously the superintendent is, like he mentioned, is not recommending something that he feels isn't going to be there. However, again, school choice numbers are down. Is there an anticipation of that changing, Mr. Superintendent? Is that
No,
what
I'm hoping in-district continue to increase, and if in-district continue to increase, then I can take, as Haverhill will be over 800 students next year, I would take and place
I'm
it in
sorry,
the
can you
district
just,
budget.
can you rewind button?
Haverhill will be over 800 students next year.
Okay. That's fabulous. As we continue, the dollar amount for these positions and salaries for both positions?
The salary for the first position is 50.
Yep,
This position, teachers are placed on a salary schedule.
sure.
So I can't really,
What's,
we always ballpark around 75,000 in our mind when we create a position, because you have to count retirement.
Sure.
Insurance. So I would be looking to have $75,000 in choice to be able to do this. I'm not saying that's the person's salary, but that's kind of like what we ballpark in our head.
and out of that 50 from the instructional for technology, how much money out of the school choice from the 50?
About 20,000.
20? Yeah.
Yeah, look at probably about 100K out of school choice.
Probably.
Poor kids.
Well, you know,
Quick question.
go ahead.
I may have overheard it too. What's the numbers now and what do we anticipate? I know it's a moving.
I don't have an exact
Yeah,
off the top,
all right,
honestly.
okay.
I'm not even going to try to guess. I don't have them with me.
Well, I realize that's a growing area, though. That's the-
Well, how many teachers are there in machine tech
One,
right now?
there's only one
There's
machine
one now.
technology teacher.
I have a question. Can I say something? I'm in machine tech and we really need another teacher. It's hard for Mr. M to get every place at once, and if we want freshmen picking our shop, we really need somebody else to help out with freshman exploratory. It would be really beneficial to our shop if we had somebody else. I don't know if that was appropriate for me to say or not, but,
Absolutely
Of
is.
course it is.
but
You have just spoke volumes, young lady.
Explain to them I didn't put you up to that.
I know you really didn't.
Where are you from, dear?
I'm from Haverhill.
Hey, So here's the
Why did you
man.
say that at the beginning?
Never would have asked.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so we all know where Sean's coming from, and we all know what we need to do. So, go ahead, Brett.
Joanne, you can help me.
Mr.
I'm being
Superintendent,
quiet.
this is, this program is also the one that's getting a lot of new machinery,
Yes, it
is
is.
that right? So
Yes.
there's gonna be
Reason to have.
a bigger reason to have somebody else in
In
there.
fact,
That's correct.
my suggestion would be that would be a priority.
Right. And it was in our budget building, it's just that when we reduced the budget to 3.5%, there was not enough money to fund the position,
And I'm sure
which
Sean,
didn't diminish the need.
and I'm sure Sean would agree with me that should be a priority, right, Sean?
And just so we know,
Well, I can't wait to have the discussion in executive session.
maybe you can help with this. The machinery that's in there now is pretty old.
Our freshman lays are from the Haverhill Trade School, and I feel like that's part of the reason why some kids don't pick it as a freshman. They're very archaic, and they don't work very well. It would, yeah, we really need some new ones.
Gee, Sean, maybe, since there's 800 kids coming from Haverhill, they might step up and help with some of this equipment.
We need to certainly, Mr. Chair, we need to validate those numbers, of course.
We- All right,
Be there Thursday evening.
Moving right along.
moving right along. Charlie, you had a
Wait 10
comment?
minutes, Mr.
Well-
Superintendent, as you know.
As we all know,
Yeah.
as we had the speaker from the advisory annual meeting, that the manufacturing in this area is
Yeah, it's true.
increasing. And since we are training and educating students from this area, I think it behooves us to keep them up to date with the equipment, so when they graduate, they can go on for higher, skills or find the job. And I think that's a good thing.
Oh, I agree.
And I'm sure we can negotiate the budget as we need it, but I don't think we should cut back on the actual vocational part, unless we're forced to do it.
Also, my involvement on the Merrimack Valley Workforce Investment Board has stressed that this is a real strong area of growth. And again, part of our mission is meeting the needs of the Merrimack Valley.
They were here one night talking about,
Yes.
just about that, yeah, sometime last year. So, Ms. Wright, I would suspect that you might want to lobby.
Absolutely, and if I may,
And let him know what your feelings are.
I just
Question?
Yes, sir.
Can we move the question?
Yes, question is moved.
I just got shut down by my
you
colleague, which
go.
is fine, that's fine. No,
Let's
I just want to, what I'm going to say to you, I'm going to echo what, because the city council, actually talking about manufacturing, city council the other night was discussing changing the ordinance and making it more feasible for, particularly off 97 area for manufacturing to come back to they're eyeing some locations near Target. So, to your point, Charlie, that's certainly, it's a hot topic and it's coming back, so. And I
Thank
agree
you.
with my colleague, let's move it.
Ms. Lynch,
It's a privilege motion.
we're going to vote, by the way. All in favor?
Thank
Thank you. Ms. Lynch? We're done.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, school committee members, and Superintendent DeRosa. We've been very busy since we last met. We had our annual honors night on May 23rd. Students were inducted into the National Vocational Technical Honor Society. Students were recognized for high achievement and perfect attendance, and there was the pinning of the certified nursing assistants. This was a wonderful night to recognize the achievements of our hardworking students and staff. We had our prom on May 28th at Atkinson Country Club. We had over 400 students attend. This is always a special night, and I can't be any prouder of our students and how they represented themselves and Whittier Tech. On Thursday, May 30th, we had graduation. It was a little warm. We had 272 students receive their diplomas and trade certificates. It was a beautiful night, and again, our students represented themselves in the school with a lot of class and grace, and I want to congratulate them on their many accomplishments. Also, before I arrived today, This afternoon, the boys' baseball team was in Lynn, and they played for the Eastern Divisional Championship. Unfortunately, they lost, but I can't be any prouder of the kids, how they represented the school, the coaches, and the fantastic season that they had. So all of our spring sports had a phenomenal season, so congratulations to the students and to the coaches. That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Lynch.
Thank you.
That's it?
Mr. Jack.
Good evening. In your packets, you've got some, I think, 4 different bid results. I think the very first one we spoke of at the last meeting, I'm sure we did, the security bid. So that we've already gone over that. Again, that particular company is a company that was here the last time, the previous bid, and they're coming back again. They actually have come on board since we last spoke. So they are actually working for us at this point because the contract started on June 1st. So that one is moving along. The second bid result is the 378, which is the supply bid. Staples will be the company of choice there because of the low bid, and that's goes back and forth.
Good, Charlie.
Yeah. On this school supplies, we give them an estimate of the total number of supplies we'll need, and then they quote based on the volume.
Basically, yes, with no guarantee.
Right, oh, there's no guarantee.
No, we don't, we give them an historical, like for the number of reams of paper, case of
Right.
paper that we use, that type of thing, but there's no guarantee that we necessarily do that. As long as we're in that general vicinity, then they're going to live with that price point.
Yeah, I think more other schools should do this, because then you get the lowest price for everything. Even the items that you don't buy a lot of, you still get the low price because of the volume of the other products.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jack.
The third bid is your cleaning contract. Again, it's complete cleaning that has won that bid. That bid price is within the budget that is projected for FY14, so that fits into place.
Discussion. I know this decision was made to, I'm assuming, outsource way back when, Mr. Superintendent, correct, for cleaning services. Is 12 or 1,400 students in the building?
1250-ish.
What was the number, because we ran into this in Haverhill, of course, and I'm just looking at the number. So the one who, I'm assuming the 700, you're talking about $765,000, I'm assuming. Is there any?
That's a 3-year, and that's a 3-year number. So it's actually $255 a year. That's the bid on the 3.
So did you, when you had, how many, in your estimate, how many custodians, if you will, if you had them? And I know that we're gonna talk about the insurance piece in a second. Of course, that's always changing. How many individuals does it take to clean this building effectively?
There are a crew of about 8 to 10 who come on a daily basis,
8 to 10?
Monday through Friday, when I say daily basis, weekdays.
Okay. And full and part-time, the analysis at this point, is this still, I mean, if you were looking at 10, that's, let's say it's cost of $35,000 per person, that's $350,000 at 10 people. Add another, I don't know, as far as supplies, maybe 50 to 100. I mean, I'm assuming, I guess as the analysis truly has it been done to say that 765,000 versus, just something for discussion, to take a look at maybe 8, can 8 individuals at around that number do the job for less than this, is what I'm saying. Because that came up, and the point I'm trying to make is not to criticize anyone, obviously. I'm just saying that when privatization came before us before, the savings really, from where I wasn't really there. That's all I'm saying. And so I just would, I mean, this decision was already made, but I don't know if we can ever, if we could kind of take a look at that. 5 individuals, 8 individuals, versus, I hate to say it, versus privatizing, even though some people say that it's a guaranteed, you outsource, you don't have benefits, et cetera. But things have changed over the last 5 or 10 years. Contributions, GIC, or any things coming down the pike from insurance, lower cost. I'm just wondering if it's more beneficial, more cost-effective to have maybe 5 or 8 people do this job versus these guys. That's all I'm saying.
Elena has a comment before we
Mr.
go.
Jack, did I misunderstand what you said? Didn't you say that 765 was the total for 3 years?
For a 3-year
And
package,
it's
255
255 a
per
year.
year.
So you already, in your initial calculation, Sean, came up with 350
Well, I'm saying the
without
amount of,
anything
that's why I was asking the
else.
amount of people. I mean, like, for example, Haverhill High School, I think, again, that was an analysis of, I was using 10 at full-time. I just didn't know if it was feasible, part-time and or full-time, less individuals, if it was the cost savings, that's all. There was a savings there.
One of the
It could be 200,000. I mean, Haverhill, I'm just saying, Haverhill High School is probably around 200,000, if my memory serves me correct, maybe less. So I just would not say drop everything, I'm just saying take a look at it in the future, that's all.
Go ahead,
Well,
Paul.
I'd say in the past, we, like most school systems, had janitors.
Sure.
And we've gotten away from that over the years, and I think that one thing that I like our administrators to do is to focus on the professional workers in the building and have the cleaning agency that comes in at a set cost. It's one less headache for the superintendent or administrators. If they have an issue, they can talk to the cleaning company and have them take care of it, rather than having, hiring more individuals. And I think that I would rather have my administrators focus on professionals rather than the cleaners.
So,
Charlie, you got something you want to?
Well, in reference to Mr. Tui, if they became school employees, then they would probably they would definitely, if they worked 18 hours a week, which they probably do.
They're full-time individuals who
Yeah,
work
they-
from
they
3
would
to
be
11.
Eligible for medical, and probably most of them would take the medical. And that would be over $100,000 cost right there,
based on how many person, that's all I'm
well,
saying.
it's, if the family plan, it costs the school about $14,000 per individual.
Right. Well,
Correct?
that's assuming it's a family
Yeah,
plan. but
well,
I'm just saying, take a
that-
look at
that-
it. We have 5 people that clean the building, that's all I'm saying.
No, I think.
Just look at
The
it.
numbers work out in our favor.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong annually or once in a while when the contracts come up.
Just take a look at it.
Yeah.
Take a look
Oh, yeah.
at it and come back, and we can work together and make those choices. But there's nothing wrong with looking. Reasonable?
Thank you, sir.
I think that's what you
And
wanted.
just a little bit of the history. Historically, the benefits are the piece that are the tipping point in most of why people privatize. The other pieces are, as time goes on and unions become part of this mix, then the negotiated contract gets something to the point where sometimes you can't afford it. And that's why people have gone in different directions. I've been in several situations in my career where we privatized to this, following this model. And always we felt that it was, you got more with the folks that you kept on board because they weren't cleaning. There's another piece here, there's a maintenance piece that goes on, and those folks get to do all the other things, and they never have to shut down because there's summer cleaning or whatnot. They simply focus on the infrastructure of the building. So those are the pieces that sometimes get forgotten. But we certainly can do that analysis.
Well, I agree with you, but conversely to that as well, we looked at that, and there are communities that have done it. There is also communities that have done it and gone back, and I don't know if, forget the community.
always do
So
that-
we can always just look at it. I mean,
can
we
always
can
do
go
that
on
exercise.
around and around. I think insurance, I mean, that's true. As a matter of fact, in Haverhill, going back just so everyone can understand and realize that there were a group, they looked at it, there was a dialogue between, hey, we'll take your personnel on, we'll give them a job, all that kind of thing, and at the end of the day, the savings just wasn't there. I didn't think it was fair to the employees that gave a tremendous amount of time. I think of them as, quite frankly, as employees, just as I look at as a teacher in this building, a custodian or a teacher. They're our employees, and they should be treated the same, in my opinion. That's the position that I take, that's the position that the school committee took in Haverhill, and we worked it out, and quite honestly, they saved us above and beyond what the potential bid in savings there were. So we're very happy about that. So again, I'm not here to criticize, I'm not here to drive everyone crazy. I'm just saying we should, as time goes on, businesses change, their models change. everything changes. If we can save money, I think we should take a look at it. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. Thanks for your comment, John. Mr. Jack, continue on. You got refuse removal.
And the refuse bid here is, as you can see, it was very close. Our current carrier is Waste Management. However, Allied was the low bidder, and we will be switching to Allied. The references, there was no reason not to, even with the closeness of the bid, and certainly we would like to honor the low bid and the bid process. So we're moving forward with Allied. And that really is that brings you up to date. There are a couple of additional bids that were in process that I will be moving on to the next person, because this will be the last time I get to meet with you folks. In July, the transition will have taken place, so I'll make sure those bids come in on the next school committee
Do you have
agenda.
any line item transfers?
Line item transfers, in your packet. You have the variance report. It's very similar to the one we presented originally. In fact, it's the same. If you look at the last page and note the colors, yellow represents those accounts that are currently in a deficit position. What I've attempted to do is reconcile that before we do anything else. So there was $265,164 that we identified of cost overruns, and that's not because of any mistakes or anything that were made in the budget. It simply is the way we do business, and we operate on the bottom line, and therefore, as a committee, you get to do this several times during the year. So we've noted those. The second piece is, if you look on the green coloring on the pages, and you look at the very bottom line, there was $561,000, $364 that are identified as available. They were available in accounts, and we don't anticipate that we will have need. Okay? You following me so far?
Yes.
The line item transfers that I'm asking for, I've highlighted in green. There are several accounts on pages 4, 3, and 5. You'll see those highlighted in green. When we do transfers, I have to tell you where where I'm recommending we get the money from. There's approximately $265,000 located in those accounts. So the very first thing I'd like to ask is that we take a vote so that we can transfer the money to offset the deficits that we have before we go any further.
So moved.
I have a motion from Nelson. Second from Brett. Any discussion on those line item transfers?
Yeah, clarification on the green, on the transfer out.
Yes.
561, Mr. Jack, the 561,000 at the end.
Represents all of that, Sean, that
So you're
represents...
taking, I just want to make sure I understand this. You're recommending a transfer from the accounts that represent 561, 364, 41, and take 265, 164 from that?
That is correct,
Yeah,
initially.
to cover the deficits.
Right. And you mentioned that, well,
I've highlighted...
when you said that's the way that you do business, and it's, the salary items I see are coming up. Is that just because, just the way that you do business? I mean, why is it running a deficit typically? I mean, what typically, are you moving money, or there's things that pop up in the year that you're
Well,
shifting? But we would see that, right?
in term-
We're transferring money anyway.
No,
Line item
but-
transfers, wouldn't we?
That's what these are.
No, I know.
Let me just go a
I
little...
understand what they are.
The issue here is, when you start a year, you say, all right, you're on a certain track and step when you come in here. I've got a new teacher coming in, I think they're going to cost that. We had this discussion just a minute ago. How much does a new teacher cost?
Right.
Approximately X number of
$75,000
dollars.
according to this,
So
yeah.
you bring a person on, and they're higher.
Right.
But they're going to go in that line item because you have to put them in the proper slot. So that's how some of the overages occur. Not all of them, and certainly, we try to anticipate, when you build a budget, you try to anticipate everything. The beauty of the way we budget on the school side throughout Massachusetts is that you're going to a bottom line. So you have this ability to reconcile from time to time, and that's what we're doing this evening.
Thank you.
All in favor? Thank you. So, Charlie, we just,
I think this is a very self-explanatory report. But it also lends some issues that I think, what jumped out to me is the waste removal. I think this is a one-time windfall.
That's correct.
Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
we didn't know, we put the money in the budget, and that's $150,000 that we probably won't see next year.
It's not budgeted next year.
Right, with cost savings.
Right.
So we gotta be a little more diligent. There's one thing that I look at from a kind of a basic P&L look is, there's a couple items, I understand, we budget 10,000, we go 11, we budget 50, we go 62. But there's one that kind of stood out to me was in the, I circled it here somewhere. I think it was in the substitute, no, something.
What page?
We budgeted, I'm trying to find it. We budgeted for, here it is. We budgeted for 5,000
Page?
in, I'll get it. Just wait a second here. Where is it? I'm sorry, I think I lost this. It was budgeted for 5,000, and we, right here, the professional development subs. We had a budget for 5, and we spent 15. Is that something that happened? Or-
Can you tell me what page, Charlie, help me out?
It's
what
on page
one?
2. It's the, about 5, 6 of the way down. The professional development subs. At a budget for 5, we spent 15.8. Well, was that, that seems like something
something
happened?
unanticipated probably
Yeah,
happened.
I don't know, I'm just curious about that.
I don't know, but I can get an answer to you.
I appreciate, yeah, I mean, the other ones we budget,
Excuse, professional
some grant
development
money?
subs, 41,
no, it says 5,000.
oh, all right, I'm sorry, one more line down,
Yeah,
okay, all right, I'm
excuse me,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It just jumps at me, I
We
can
can
see
find that
missing, 4,000, 3,000, this is 3 times what we budgeted for.
Mhm.
It's just a question.
Yeah, we
I know
can
there's,
find that
I know
out.
there's a good reason, but,
And a reason might be, as things like this come up, and we look, and a couple of instances have happened where we have hit the wrong account.
yeah, that's what
That
I'm
could
saying,
very
yeah.
well be something of that nature.
Right.
But certainly, we can look at this.
Yeah, that's why I think this format's really good for everybody.
Yeah.
Because now you can look at it and say, wait a minute, hold it, we got to.
All right, Mr. Jack, what else do you have?
We need a vote on the vote on the transfer.
Okay.
If we could do a vote on the transfer
We had a
first.
motion and a second, we voted on it already.
Okay. The second piece.
Second piece of this.
To follow Mr. Tui's lead in this whole piece, the $561,000 is available. And that is a very conservative estimate, and I'll go through a few more figures after we get through this next part. $561,000 is available. We used $265. We told you that we would come back at some point at the end of the year
Right.
and try to, which is the second page that you have in your packet, the
Right.
green, and identify other areas that either happened in FY13 or during the budget process in FY14 we weren't able to fund around equipment. Those areas are highlighted in green. And what you see in front of you is the areas that have been identified is for another $198,000 of that 561. So it's 265 now, plus 198,000, that we would like to take care of some of the issues here. The lower ones are FY13 requests, the upper ones are FY14 that went through the budget process, but we had to take them out in order to get to our 3.5%.
So it's your recommendation to try to fund these items as opposed to taking this money to replenish the E&D where we just took out.
All right, I'll address that right now. You took 208,000, you've taken 210,000 tonight, 210, 452, I think is the number.
Out of E&D.
My effort here, while I'm here over the next little bit, is to try to replenish as much as that, have that kind left over. So if we do the 198, and the 265, yeah, we got about 97,000 left.
Right.
But you'll also note that I didn't sweep in those accounts. If you looked at these accounts, you'll see some remaining balances that are fairly substantial yet, i.e. propane, natural gas. I didn't move that over yet.
Right.
So I anticipate, and there will be some, out of the encumbrance column, there will be some encumbrances that will lessen. They won't get greater, they may lessen, and that will hopefully give you enough to replenish your E&D. So at the end of the year,
That's just
whatever's
it.
left over goes into E&D. At this point in the year, you're not apt to get any surprises. There shouldn't be anything that we don't know at this point.
That's kind of your safety net.
It is the safety net, but everything that's left over at the end of the year, other than what you agree upon here, goes to E&D and has to be certified to be used in FY15.
So, just so I understand it, the 210 that we, from the lack of 70 that came, that we're making up the difference, that taking the E&D from 789 down to 5 whatever, are we now saying that these, by the end, we're now taking a number after encumbrances back in there, so bringing 500 plus thousand to,
No.
no? Okay.
We are saying that we are going to bring, that the 210,000
Yeah,
that you...
that you took out of E&D.
Taken out of, we're going to try to replenish that 210,000 and make it whole, bring it back to 789.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
Yeah,
thought
so-
you said 500,000.
No, no, because the 210 took it down to 500.
Oh, okay.
But now
I
you're-
misunderstood you.
I'm talking
He
the
has-
the timing of it, so,
But he has earmarked about 100 here.
so 6 to 700, so you're, okay, so
July
in
1st.
layman's terms, it seems as if there's going to be, after this takes place at the end of the year, E&D, when all's said and done, will be back up around 700, but because you just mentioned the word 561 is a conservative number, so that tells me there may be a little bit more, or not, I don't know.
No, I'm, the 561.
You said
If we take the 561, that's a conservative number, because if you look at the accounts.
Yeah.
I didn't put natural gas, there's $97,000 left in that account as we speak.
Sure, yeah, okay.
We've got some, so I haven't pushed that over to the other side. If you take the 198 plus the 265, subtract that out of the 561, there's 97,000 there. I figure there's another 97,000 there, and there are some other accounts that should bring you pretty close back to the 210,000 to bring us back to the 789.
800,
This
okay.
will all be
That's
done
what I
before July 1 and start of the new fiscal
We
year.
are in hopes that I will have this all done within the next week or so.
Does that answer everybody's questions on what he's done
I
here?
think this
So,
is good management.
Yeah, this is good information, and but it's normal business. This is normal business. It's done on the municipal side in other ways, and it's done on the school side in the way we're doing it.
You operate with the bottom line here, the municipal
exactly
side.
right. Yeah.
You operate with line items, and that's a little tougher.
Yep, I
I'll tell you the
understand.
truth. I'm pleased that we're taking first step, some extra funds and buying equipment for the school, and then hopefully what's left over to replenish the E&D from the Chapter 70 loss. And if that doesn't come to fruition, then the E&D will be a little bit less, and that's fine with me.
All right, Ken?
Excuse me.
Yes,
Mr.
Elena?
Chairman.
Yes.
I would just like to say that since David Jack has taken over, I have found this financial piece of everything much easier to understand, not being in that field and knowing a lot of this stuff. It's been very beneficial to me. And I just pray and hope that our new business manager will follow in your steps and kind of pick up
Perpetuate.
on the easy to read way that you've done things for us.
Well, what we need to do...
I know she'll have her own way of
That's
doing
right.
things, but I just hope that, this is something that works.
Well, what we need to do as a school committee, all of us, and I have always done this, and Sean's doing it, is that you need to ask questions. If you don't understand something, ask a question. You need to know it, you need to know it very well, because you need to know what you're voting on, because you have a responsibility to the communities that sent us. So we're doing the right thing. I'm glad we're taking the time to do this. This is a good exercise. But as I say, this is what's done in all municipalities and schools across the Commonwealth. This is what they do at the end of the fiscal year. Housekeeping, sweeping the
Chairman?
accounts. Yes, sir.
Move the recommendation of the business manager for line item transfer.
I have a motion, I have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, we didn't have any discussion, we already had enough discussion. Continue on, what do we got next? That's it?
That's it.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Jack.
you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I say,
Yes.
can we thank,
Yes,
can
I
we
was
thank
gonna do that.
Mr. Jack for his service?
Perfect job.
Absolutely.
3 citations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got 3 citations for you. Thank you so much.
David, thank you.
Thanks,
I'm
David.
sure he'll be available if we need him.
All right.
North.
700 a day.
Tonight,
Something happened in Haverhill. What happened in Haverhill?
Well, a couple of my colleagues spoke up, and unfortunately, Mr. Jack withdrew.
all right, everybody. I'd like to move on to
Oh, really?
June annual agenda items. One of the first things I want to do is, we have to review the superintendent's goals. Now, I use the word "have to review." The point is this: I'm glad to review these. In fact, I want to back into this a little different, because I was thinking about this. The 14 school committee, go ahead.
Just quickly, under the new state requirements, is going to be a different time for your goals to come out, et cetera? Are we going to change this off the annual agenda?
I'm going to give it to you in August
Okay.
instead of June,
Because it's no longer really applicable.
right.
Yeah, okay. But the point I'm making is this, that the 14 members of the school committee all were sent documents that we had to read, evaluate, and comment on, all separately, all independently, and all with the things that we've learned about Mr. DeRosa and how he's met the goals and the tasks that we've asked him to do. And I'm going to back into this by saying, these are comments I'm going to read to you from individual members of the school committee. Here's one comment: every opportunity I've had to observe or interact with Whittier students indicates they are engaged and appreciative of the learning environment provided at the school. They cannot say enough about the education parents are saying about their son and daughter is getting at Whittier. They said Mr. DeRosa is an excellent communicator, strong leadership, very organized, detail-oriented. Now, don't forget, these are you folks saying these things independently. A great educator, great educational leader, great job. The superintendent is dedicated to the success of each student through his communication skills with faculty, school committee members, political allies, and the district communities. They also said, we said, the superintendent seeks out all resources available to help maintain and improve all aspects of the school. Somebody else said the superintendent shows, leads, and expects exemplary behavior, constant community engagement. MCAS and graduation rate is excellent. Once again, Whittier is the leader in Massachusetts. He continues to lead Whittier to be recognized statewide as one of the best regional vocational technical schools in Massachusetts. These comments go on and on and on, all from members of the school committee independently, and I wanted to back into this to tell you because on the instructional leadership, which was one of the standards, the overall rating was 8 proficient and 6 exemplary. On the management and operations, there were 5 areas of that. He had 10 proficient and 4 exemplary. On family and community engagement, Mr. DeRosa had 9 proficient, 5 exemplary. And again, it comments, he communicates with parents, business people, politicians, and the general public whenever possible or required. Every one of these things has comments, and comments are all in the positive area. Again, this is all independent. We didn't get together and talk about this. We all did this independently of each other. Professional culture, commitment to high standards, cultural proficiency, communication, continuous learning. Overall rating was 8 proficient, 6 exemplary. Superintendent's performance goals for 2012 and 2013. In the professional practice, 6 of you said he exceeded them. In student learning, 10 of you said he exceeded. In district improvement, 4 said he exceeded all those things. It goes on and on and on. But the bottom thing, the rate impact on student learning, and this is a number that we all voted on, every one of us, all 14 of us, gave him the highest we could give him, that is high. Again, that was done independently. We didn't communicate with each other. We did this. So to me, that shows that Mr. DeRosa has not only met our standards, but he's communicated very effectively with each one of us, because independently, we came out with this evaluation. So thank you, Mr. DeRosa. Heck of a job.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
Are you
Chairman.
choking on your candy? Did I say?
No.
I make a motion to accept the evaluation into the record?
I have a motion and I have a second. I don't know if there's any further discussion needed because you've said it all in your evaluation. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, if I can, I'd like to thank the committee for their evaluation and thank all committee members for having done the evaluation. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Now if we can do the same for the self-evaluation next year.
I just had one, is this distributed to anyone, or is this just on file and if somebody wants it?
I don't know, what can we do with it?
Public record.
Well, you know what, I
We don't
think,
mail it out to the
why
selectmen?
couldn't we send this out to the selectmen and all the communities? Is that something we shouldn't do, we should do? No.
No.
Just drop it.
Right.
Part of
Good.
their personal-
Public record, anybody can
The
seek it
public
out.
record, we should leave well enough alone. Thank you very
Daily
much.
News or Eagle Tribune or...
Oh, there you go, good, thank you.
Maybe we can have a frame.
There you go, Charlie.
But the individual evaluations went into the state, didn't they, to go to DESI?
They're reported at the end of the year to DES, they haven't been done yet.
But they do, they go beyond here.
Yeah, in report, the numbers do through the information system, the actual physical document, no.
Do you have to keep those for a certain period of time?
We just keep them in the personnel,
No instructions?
yeah.
All right,
Don't you have to have that you and the chairman sign it? We done that?
We haven't signed in the past. I mean, we certainly can if you want
I
to.
thought under the new law, all evaluations, the individual has to sign
You
it.
put, I think when you put your
Signed them?
names on the individual,
Signed
that's,
them. did.
You have to sign it.
I can check. I-
Doesn't
There's
the law, I
a
think,
spot for
now.
you, I think, too.
I think under the law now, you have the right to question it and not sign it with your reasons why.
Oh.
I'm not positive.
I'll find, honestly, I don't know that.
Next to our signature, our individual signatures, there was a place for your signature.
Right.
Yeah, the
I don't
top
know
And I
page,
signed
some
it,
of the-
and I put
Oh,
my
you
name
did?
there as they came in,
All
yeah.
right, yeah.
some of
Well, I
the
thought you meant on
evaluation.
this,
Oh, no,
We have to do
no, I mean
anymore.
on each one.
yeah.
we
You
got,
signed them all.
all right. I think we have to talk about, am I right, summer meeting schedule now?
No, yeah.
Talk
We got
about it.
policy update.
Okay, I jumped to that, but let's do the policy update first, go ahead.
We're up top, well, basically, we've been keeping track all year long, so information been coming to the superintendent, he's been passing on to the policy subcommittee. We've done quite a bit of work this year. In the last couple of months, we haven't had anything because we're really up to date. We did talk to this, well, we'll do that under committee. That's it for annual.
Great. Now we can jump to the summer meeting schedule, is that correct? Let's talk about that, what do we do?
What about the variance?
Move to suspend unless it's necessary.
Suspend what?
July meeting,
No meeting on July, you say?
unless you feel it's necessary.
Now, I have is it a motion? It's a motion, and I'm looking for a second. You want to do that, second?
Sure, I'll second it, I'll make the motion.
So the motion and the second is to not have a meeting in July. That's a traditional thing that we do. Any discussion on that?
Paul?
I think we should have a meeting.
True to form.
This is also traditional.
It must take place.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Opposed.
One opposed.
One opposed. Thank you. Motion passes. No meeting in July. We will start with a meeting in August, correct? Lisa, you'll send out all the notifications? Mr. DeRosa, you'll keep us informed over the summer?
Definitely,
Because you're not going to go away in July, are you? You're going to be here.
all the time.
But it'll be quiet.
All right. Can we go on to subcommittee reports? Is that correct? Did I miss
Yes.
anything? All right, executive. Executive
Has not met.
has not met. Instructional, Ms. Joanne?
It has not met, and I would assume we probably should meet in September or October. And
It's September.
and that is at the discretion of the superintendent when he feels that there are some issues, but currently we're under control, so to speak.
Okay, Brett, plant operations?
We did meet last month. The minutes are in your packet, and we will be needing a meeting in September to review some of projects. So I make a motion to approve.
All right.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. LaBella?
Just a step back a second. Based on the superintendent's report on the budget.
Where you going back to? You going back to the budget again?
We do have enough votes, so we're going to now proceed with the treatment plant construction.
That's correct.
So what, just out of curiosity, when would the schedule,
We have them scheduled to begin in July.
July?
July 1, everything's going out, bids and everything, right, or whatever? No, the
We're
bids are all done.
bid. They were awarded a contract
Yeah.
contingent upon our funding.
Right, now we
We're
have the
still getting
funding.
the letters in of the certified votes, but we know we have more than 8 votes.
Yep.
So,
Do we have a full 100%?
and that's why we scheduled after July 1, simply for that reason.
The only one who hasn't voted is
Mr.
Harry.
LaBella,
Oh, that was it.
salary and negotiations?
Oh, we have 2 sets of minutes for your, from the packet to be voted on, to be accepted. First is the April 24, 2013 minutes.
I need a motion. Is that a motion? I need a second on the April 24th.
Second.
I have a second from Sean. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
I
you.
have the June 4th salary negotiation minutes.
You need a second, Sean?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And we will be going into a executive session to discuss the results of these non-union negotiations.
David?
We did meet this evening. Basically, the policy, we're all up to date. We did re-elect the chair, the subcommittee chair. And we may need a meeting in the fall. We're going to try to look into what the state requires for new school committee members. How soon do they have to go and take that one course? Do they have to, the whole thing. So we're going to kind of try to check into that. We're going to ask Elena if she could check with MESC and bring some information forward. And the superintendent is also going to check as far as the general laws are concerned. But it might be good to have an in-house policy to say when someone new comes on board within 6 months or as soon as possible, they take this course. It talks about open meeting law, it talks about parliamentary procedure, it talks about dealing with your colleagues on the board, and so on. So I think it's worthwhile to do.
Can that be done online?
No.
I don't think you have to go to the training.
You have to go to the trainings. I agree with
So
David.
we'll talk about that probably in September.
Are student reps invited?
No,
I did it here.
No.
no.
Okay. All right.
That's
David,
it.
That's it? Okay. Wastewater?
We'll need a meeting in August, Mr. Chairman. There has not been, but we will in August, because obviously, hopefully, the construction will be more than halfway done by then, and we will have some bills and an update, so we will
Like a
need a
site
meeting in
visit?
August. Ms. Lynch invites any of you to have a site visit
Ms.
anytime you
Lynch?
want. She's chair of wastewater subcommittee.
All right. And the next meeting is going to be, I'm looking, August, what?
14th or something
August
like that.
14th, isn't it?
It's going to be executive session,
All right?
non-union.
They don't have a calendar.
Yeah, it's the second, it's the second.
August 14, yes.
It's August 14th, so we don't have a meeting July 2nd, 10th, I mean. We have a meeting August 14th, unless we call you in for something we hadn't anticipated. All right. Any new business to come before the committee tonight? Hearing none, I think we need an executive session. Oh, Charlie?
Just out of general information, I think, which would be helpful to me. Every time when we go to the graduation and we have all these scholarships, we could have like a list of all the scholarships and ones that are ongoing and the ones that are just, we applied to. And I think it's very information for everybody to know how much we do get. I know at the graduation, a lot of students receive scholarships and grants, which I think is very commendable for the community to do that.
And I also seriously have to thank the banks for their generosity, because since I've been asking, the banks, the area banks have been wonderful in providing scholarship funding.
All right. I think we have to have an executive session, don't we? I'd like to declare a 5-minute recess and then go into, do we do that? Okay, I need a motion to enter into executive session under Chapter 38, Section 21, subsections 2 and 3, to consider the following collective bargaining agreements. Conduct, and that was it, right? That's all we need? Oh, I need support staff and administrators and other non-union contracts, and upon completion of executive session, we will return to open session. I have.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
5-minute
call.
recess, roll call, yes, I knew that, right here. Nelson?
Yes.
David, no, Sean?
Yes.
Charlie?
Yes.
David, Irving?
Aye.
Paul?
Yes.
Lena Gilbert? Jane Moran?
Yes.
Brett?
Yes.
Joanne Testaverde?
Yes.
And myself, all in favor? Yeah, oh, yes, we did. We have voted to go from executive session to open session.
I just need to look at that.
And you're going to tell everybody what the outcome was.
We're going to be voting on an open session, the negotiations committee motions to ratify various contracts and salary increases of non-union personnel. And the first motion is as follows. Motion to ratify the salary adjustments per the superintendent's memo dated June 5th, 2013, which was approved by the Salary Negotiations Committee.
Move the committee's recommendation.
Second.
Roll call vote. Nelson?
Yes.
Sean?
No.
Mr. LaBella?
Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry, yes,
Yes.
yes.
It was a
I
yes.
voted
for
yes
Sean,
on that.
yes.
No, you didn't. You voted no on that.
Voted no on that.
You voted no on the first one.
You voted no on
The only one you voted yes on was the...
The last one.
Was the last one.
No,
No, that's not true.
that's not true.
That's
He
not true.
voted- The first one was unanimous.
Vote was unanimous.
Okay,
Oh, yes, the
The
first one was...
first vote was
unanimous.
unanimous, yes, it was.
He voted yes.
No, he voted. Yeah.
Can you go
Did
back
you
and
vote
read
or
it?
no?
yeah.
Oh, then it's no.
'Cause then we went back to the roll call. We
Been
voted no.
unanimous the
That's right,
first
yeah,
time,
I
and
thought
then
that-
we
Right
went
down
back
here.
into the
Described it right up there.
All right.
I have to stay consistent on that.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Irving?
Aye.
Mr. Tucker?
Aye.
Ms. Gilbert?
Yes?
Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Ms. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
Vote.
And I'm yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Second motion.
Doesn't
Passes.
Motion to approve the salary as recommended by the Salary Negotiations Subcommittee for the principal at $129,313.
Roll call,
Move the recommendation of the subcommittee.
Second.
okay, roll call vote. Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Tui?
No.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Irving?
Aye.
Mr. Tucker?
Yay.
Ms. Gilbert?
Yes.
Jane Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Joanne Testaverde?
Yes.
And I'm yes.
Okay. Third motion. A motion to approve the salary as recommended by the Salary Negotiations Subcommittee, excuse me, for the Director of Student Services at $125,460.
Looking for a motion?
Move the subcommittee's recommendation.
Second.
Motion and a second. We're going to do a roll call vote again. Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Tui?
Yeah, no.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Sorry.
Irving?
It's getting late.
Mr. Tucker?
Aye.
Ms. Gilbert?
Yes.
Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
And I'm yes.
Motion number 4. A motion to approve the salary as recommended by the Salary Negotiations Subcommittee for the Director of Technology and Information Systems at $95,000.
Looking for a motion?
Move the subcommittee's recommendation.
Second.
And I have a second. Motion and a second. We'll go to roll call vote now. Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Tui?
No.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Irving?
Aye.
Mr. Tucker?
Aye.
Ms. Gilbert? Ms.
Yes.
Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
And I'm yes. And the last one?
Next to last. A motion to ratify the business manager's contract on the terms as recommended by the Salary Negotiations Subcommittee.
Looking for a motion, please?
Move the recommendation of the subcommittee.
Second.
I have a second over there, Mr. Burns. We're going to go to a roll call vote. Mr. Burns?
700
Yes.
grand.
Mr. Tui?
No.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Irving?
Aye.
Mr. Tucker?
Aye.
Ms. Gilbert?
Yes.
Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
No.
And I'm yes. Where did Ms. Testaverde go? I couldn't see you. I thought you... I said, where is she? All right, the third one?
A motion to approve the salary as recommended by the Salary Negotiations Subcommittee for the superintendent at $176,788.
So moved.
Second.
I have a second over here with Mr. Irving. Roll call vote. Mr. Burns?
Yes.
Mr. Tui?
Yes.
Mr. LaBella?
Yes.
Mr. Irving?
Aye.
Ms. Gilbert?
Yes.
Mr. Tucker?
Aye.
Let's see if you're awake. Ms. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Ms. Testaverde?
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
I'm
Second.
looking- I have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody. Good work.